We need to talk about abortion. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dive Deep a la carte with Lance Phelps. Today, I've got something that I've been meaning to talk about. It's a very serious issue. It's something that, personally, I have to confess that I have nowhere near been as proactive, and nowhere near been as vigilant as I should have been. And I think that the majority of the church falls in the same position. I think that we need to repent as a church, and that is on the matter of abortion. I stand against it. Obviously we're murdering babies when we have abortions, but what I have not been is proactive in trying to end it. And really, if you think about it, this is kind of a culturally normal thing. Unfortunately, these types of injustices are culturally normal. If you think about slavery, there was a lot of justification, as there is with abortion. If you think about the Holocaust, there's again a lot of justification with the locals who knew what was going on with the Holocaust. They knew that people were being killed. They could smell the smokestacks. They knew what that was happening, but they didn't say anything. They didn't do anything. Now, to be honest with you, we are actually in a position where our not saying or doing anything, I feel, is a little worse. I mean, it's all bad, but it's a little worse than those in Nazi Germany who didn't say anything. I mean, if they said something, they're like, no, you need to stop killing these Jews, then they would get a bullet in their brain, or they themselves would be put into the death camps. But we're not in that position. So what excuse do we have that we are ignoring the deaths of millions of babies every year? Actually, across the world, there is an unspeakably high number of babies who are murdered every year. But just in America alone, there's a couple statistics here that approximately 887,000 abortions took place in the United States in 2016. And then in 2015, that number was 913,000 abortions. Well, so that's great. We've murdered a few less babies, and that's absolutely wonderful that we would do that, right? We need to murder no babies at all. But at the same time, 887,000 babies, 887,000 image bearers of God were killed, were just murdered. For untold reasons. I don't know exactly what the reasons are. Normally it's convenience, and that's the part that makes it even worse. It's bad enough that you ever murder a baby, but if it ever is, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter what reason. If you do it, it's evil. And us as a church, us as a culture, well, us as a church, the culture, of course, justifies it by saying that they are potential human beings. That was a part of the arguments that the Supreme Court justices wrote in their decision for Roe v. Wade, was part of the philosophy that underpins that. And this is part of the reason why I go on about philosophy as much as I do, because philosophy is so crucially important, because it dictates where your value system is, what you deem as valuable and what you deem as not valuable. And in this case, the philosophical systems that the Supreme Court justices used in the Roe v. Wade decision was that the baby was a potential life form. It was a potential human. It was a dehumanization of the baby. And of course, we see this all throughout history. If ever you have a group of people that you no longer want to have to treat like humans, you just come up with a philosophical system that dehumanizes them. In the baby's case, they're potential humans. They're not really humans. They're just potential humans. This is an unspeakable horror that we could even fathom such a thing, but we do. The image bearer of God is snuffed out before they even have a chance to see the light of day. They're in what's supposed to be the safest location in their mother's womb, and it is the place where they die. I can't even fathom it. And we let this happen every day with no outcries, no desperate pleas for this to end, it just keeps going. It's almost it's unfathomable. So what are we going to do is the question. Right now, you and I, we must commit to ending abortion now. Absolutely. There's no gray area. There's no maybe. And in the future, I plan on updating you every month about the state of abortion in the United States and in the world, and what you can do. And in this video, I'm also going to have what you can do. And in the show notes down below, if you're watching and if you're listening, and on the show notes on the website, you can find resources where you can go and you can volunteer your time and you can give money to ending abortion. But what we can do and what we should do is engage in an outcry to end abortion as a church. And we're millions strong. So there should be millions of people who are engaging vigilantly to end the massacre of babies. I can't believe I even can utter those words. The massacre of millions of babies is taking place in the United States. And what outcry do we have? What are we doing? Well, I tell you, I am not going to allow another day to go by without doing something to end this massacre, this Holocaust. And by the way, there were about 17 million people, human beings, who were murdered in the Holocaust. That is horrifying and awful. Well, there have been more than 53 million human beings murdered in their mother's wombs since 1973. So what can we do? We have to take action. We have to not shy away from doing all that we can do. We have to give money. We have to give time. We have to give resources to end this. We have to give our voices. We have to give our time and our money. What we can do is you can go to endabortionnow.com. That's endabortionnow.com. And there are places to donate there. There are things that you can do. And it's a really wonderful website. Their message, pretty simple. It's an awesome message. I'm just going to go ahead and read it from their site. We have a consistent and clear 5-point message. Here's the message. We must communicate in love to those looking to murder their child. 1, abortion is murder. 2, an issue of national sin. 3, repent and believe the gospel. And 4, rescue babies and parents. And 5, we want justice. Justice, of course, for these unborn children who are dying every day at the hands of their parents. This organization, I think, is pretty cool. It's head up by Apologia Church. They are an awesome organization. They engage in apologetics. The pastor is Jeff Durbin. He's an awesome guy. He's a great apologist. He's associated with James White. I don't know if you know these names, but they just wanted to kind of lend credibility to this movement. It's just not really an it's not his own 501c3 organization. It's head up by their church, but it's just awesome. So go to the website. Go and do something. We must stand up right now. We must repent of our apathy. We must repent of our inaction, and we must move to act. We must move to speak. We must move to destroy this thing and not allow any philosophical system that would dehumanize these children to survive. We must destroy these systems. We must destroy the thought that allows us as a culture to murder children. It's unacceptable. It has to end right now. Like I said, in future episodes, I'm going to delve into the more philosophical aspects of it. You know, what is their arguments? What are the counter arguments to kind of help you to be a little bit more prepared. But for right now, we must go out and we must end abortion now.